Connect with Kooky. And we're back. I know you missed me. Anyhow, it's been a real interesting year, right? I know everybody's been going through it, but we back and we made it to the end. Definitely a lot has changed, a lot has happened, lots of ups and downs, blah, blah, blah. I know it's been a while. Definitely was going through some changes, in-house changes, new staff, new cameraman, all that good stuff. We're going to keep this show rolling though, so don't worry. You're going to see a lot more of me. But jumping right into it, I just want to kind of just talk to you guys because it's been a while, things going on in the world, but we're just probably going to stick to the things that I want to tell you guys about, my recent accomplishments. For example, we will be doing new segments, like anytime I'm not in the studio, I'm going to be doing things like Kooky Chronicles, which is more of a day-to-day type of thing. What else? I also launched my accessory line, Cookie Cutter Accessories, which obviously by Kooky. I just recently accomplished my fashion show with LLM and the Stew, Creative Culture Stimuli, and Tarot Arts, all that good stuff. We did our Street First Chic Limitless Legends fashion show, and it was amazing. Definitely shout out to everybody again that was involved, participated, showed up. I can't be more thankful. As you guys know, sex, music, politics, life, and lessons. Starting from the top, sex and relationships. Whew. Sex and relationships. Fun topic, but definitely something that everybody can relate to. And for me, it has been definitely eye-opening this year with, my man, aka fiance, whatever. Anyhow, if I could give any advice as far as relationship goes, it's just all about communication, commitment, compromise. I was watching something, I forgot, where they called it the 3 C's, and honey, those definitely help. As far as sex goes, that's a language everybody understands. But I wanted to brush on something funny that me and my girls was talking about the other day as far as threesomes and polygamy. That being, like how do people go about it and how can you function with more than one personality and blah, blah, blah. And I think I could kind of simplify it once again from threesomes and a polygamous relationship that everybody has to feel respected, connected, just consensual, of course. I think when individuals feel left out or not heard, not seen, that's when things start to kind of crumble. If I could give any advice for people who are exploring those realms, just make sure, if you were doing the threesome thing, whatever, you and your partner have a full understanding that this is a connection or something bigger and fun to explore for you guys as a couple, not your man trying to get a little piece on the side and forcing you to do something that you're not comfortable with. It's supposed to be something empowering, not, the opposite. What else? Obviously, once again, going back to relationships, I think a lot of people are, scared of that word these days because everybody's been hurt. Everybody, doesn't want to be hurt again. People are scared to be vulnerable. And I think that the love that everybody wants, you kind of got to level with that. It's going to be a little hard, difficult, very uncomfortable. But ultimately, you're going to learn a lot about yourself and also your partner. So vulnerability is not always a bad thing. Compromise isn't always a bad thing. Definitely, well, at least speaking for myself, I'm learning a lot about myself. A level of patience, understanding, tolerance. But anyway, moving on. Once again, politics and current events. As we're going down the tier, for those who are rejoining us, it's sex and relationships, politics, current events, music, pop culture, life, and lessons. But once again, politics, current events. Earlier this year, we experienced a lot of interesting things. What do they call it? Insurgent or attack of the Capitol, January 6th. We brushed on it our last little catch up, so we're not going to talk too much about that. But it's definitely interesting to see how things have developed. I'd like to know, or I'm glad that, I guess, the American justice system has semi-progressed. With that being said, also, Black people, if you guys did not know, we became officially humans this year. For those who aren't familiar with the Superior Court Dred Scott case, he was a slave, his master died, and he was basically trying to get his freedom, but being that he was still quote unquote property, that didn't happen. And so just up until now, 2021, earlier this year, they finally bypassed that law where people, or Black people, are now recognized as a full person instead of 3/4 the person. I know, wild as fuck, right? That should really give you some perspective of people of any color, of how the climate is how it is today. Black people don't want to keep saying Black Lives Matter. It's a fucking shame that we even have to say such a thing. And we're not saying only our lives matter. And it's like for anybody to counteract all lives matter, duh. But we're not talking about all lives today. Not all lives are in danger. Technically, sure, everybody, yes. But at a higher rate, Black lives matter. Anyhow, in recent cases, like the Kyle Rittenhouse, for those who don't know, that the little white boy who shot a few people during the protest, but he was supposedly being a patriot and protecting property and blah, blah, blah. In typical American fashion, I believe he was acquitted and all that good stuff, but the people have spoken. I don't think he's going to the same school anymore. I don't think, the same people are endorsing him anymore, blah, 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 blah. And so justice is served on its own platter in that direction. In other news, Aubrey Arbor, that also was a case that finally came to a close. And surprisingly, Black people, we got some justice on that. It's good to know that people could just see black and white, right and wrong. He was lynched. If you disagree, then you are the problem. Like I said, this episode is just going to be pretty quick. I just want to touch on a few things, reconnect with you guys, all that good stuff, And yeah, something that's been, a little concerning coming to my attention. I think everybody kind of sees it and all that good stuff, especially with the coronavirus thing going on. It's like, I don't know, every few months, it's like getting an update like an iPhone. Coronavirus variant this, what's the new one? Omicron. I love my people, especially Black Twitter. And I bet Omarion was looking at his mentions like, why I keep getting mentioned right now? Because people are confusing, obviously, Omicron with Omarion. So I thought that was pretty funny. But on a more serious note, just with coronavirus, everybody's kind of, on the fence of get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. I don't think it's a wrong choice as long as it is your choice. Do your research, stay safe, take the proper precautions, all that good stuff. But definitely, I'm gonna just say, do your research. Moving on. Current events that I like to talk about as well, it will be like artificial intelligence is on the rise. I am kind of like Will Smith off of iRobot. I could understand it, I function with it, but when it comes down to it, when it's really happening, I think I'm gonna stick to the things that I know. I'm a little old school in a lot of aspects of life, but definitely when it's coming to that. There's even a robot who has citizenship. There's a company offering $200K for you to scan your face and put it on a robot, which was a little enticing. If you don't believe me, look it up, I swear. I'm forgetting the company name, but I thought about it. But I definitely want everybody just to kind of pay attention to what's going on. If you watch Connect with Kooky, or if seen previous episodes, whatever, this platform was created not only for myself and dope individuals who I admire and that are doing things for not only the city, but, contributing to the world. I definitely like to, give little thought notes, thought-provoking things so that people understand that there's a lot going on. And so whether you want to call it conspiracy, whether you want to call it, myth, whatever, it's just something to think about, because a lot of people are, what's the word or phrase? I guess one-dimensional when there's so many things like on this plane, spiritual, intellectual, what have you. Definitely just stay woke. But closing out, we have to, especially my people, even though I know a lot of the time it's very defeating, it's very exhausting. But aside for the presidential race and all that good stuff, we need to pay attention in our communities as far as like the new policies, the new council members, all that good stuff. Because a lot of the times we aren't paying attention to that because we think it doesn't involve us, because we're always being handed the short end of the stick anyway, when really that's where our superpowers come in. That's where we can actually make change in our smaller aspect. One little drop creates ripples into waves. And so I just want everybody to keep that in mind, definitely shout out to the millennials or generation, what is that, Z, X, I don't know, whatever. Being more involved, being more aware, especially, I like how this generation is more involved with climate change, as, it is important. We all got to live on this little blue rock. And so our ancestors didn't do a good job of preserving that, but we're definitely making a lot of headway as far as, moving forward in the future with like solar panels, green things and all that good stuff. Hydropower, all that stuff. We're definitely tapping into different resources. I watched something kind of cool where these guys turn cooking oil into gasoline type thing, or their car at least ran off of cooking oil. So it burned clean, it was easy to get, and blah, blah, blah. Did it go super fast? I don't remember. But that also reminds me of the older documentary called Who Killed the Electric Car, where obviously GM discontinued the first electric car because it was cutting into their money. I wonder if we did not do that, where would we be? We'd definitely be further along. I actually think we got a lot of things that we have access to as far as technology. Hey, maybe Area 51, who knows? But we definitely are more technological savvy, I will like to believe. I feel like it's fact that overseas is probably a little more ahead of the game, more specifically Japan, China, obviously, because we get most of our technology from them anyhow. But closing politics and current events, we're moving on to music and pop culture. I definitely am proud of SAC, specifically NorCal. Our little music scene is quite booming right now. A lot of singers, rappers, just definitely put it on for the city right now. We're definitely creating a wave and making our own, I'm just really proud of us, especially Sac Town 916. We doing our thing. Again, rappers, singers, touching on some of my favorites, rapper-wise, like Bashi B, singer-wise, Stuck in a Tree, is Joe, Natho, Nia Joe, just so many. I can't even name everybody. And so if I left you out, don't feel personal because it's just a long list. I'll probably include it in my bio when I put together a SAC hit list of my personal favorites. But I've definitely been peeping how a lot of people are becoming more conscious rappers, if those don't know what that means, or that don't know what that means, drill rap, all that gangster shit, all that, that's cool. But I feel like it's becoming watered down. It's becoming too repetitive. It's becoming meaningless. Even Tupac was saying that a long time ago, you got to do better. Obviously music is storytelling, poetry, rap especially, that's cool. Absolutely. You're just saying what you experienced, but a lot of dudes are just repeating the same shit or thinking that's the wave to get on, and that's not it. I think if I could give any advice to artists right now, do you, in the highest form, whether you the black sheep or not, you definitely got to do something to stand out. And I think that's what's important, because everything's getting, once again, repetitive, boring, lame. I'm honestly, I appreciate a good little gangster song and all that shit, but it's what it's doing, and I hate that argument as well, because I love rap and hip hop music because that is ours. It wasn't always about violence. It was about empowering. It was about opening others to the situations that urban people were going through. And then it just changed to expression or rap dissing and all this other stuff, even though it is sports, for those who actually battle rap, shout out to Free Game Battle Rap. That's a whole different level of rap. It's intentional to, it's battle rap. It's a warrior thing when you get into that realm aspect. But when we're talking about drill music where niggas is talking about deceased loved ones and this side and that side and blah, blah, blah. Me being a native, I got people from across the board. Me, I was born in Fairfield. I'm a military brat. I was born at Travis Air Force Base and then moved down here. And so I learned a lot real fast at a young age too. What to do, what not to do, what areas to be in, what areas not to be in, blah, 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 blah. And so I think it's like that anywhere. A lot of people have made the mistake of thinking the grass is greener when only because you just don't know what's going on. But I'm somebody who's always aware of my surroundings. And so if I can encourage anybody, definitely be aware of your surroundings. People need to stop being so insensitive. But I mean, At the same time, there's levels to this shit. I'm more so speaking to overall people. If you a gangster, gangbanging, all that shit, you keep doing you, my brother. I don't know what to say. That's your lane. But I definitely wish our kings had something more to emulate, something more to offer at the end of the day, besides shooting the ball, spitting on a mic, something like that. We need more doctors. We need more mechanics. We need all types of shit. That's actually why I love going to Atlanta, just seeing people that look like me doing everything. Like, it's really almost like Wakanda. You walk into any store, there's somebody that looks like you right behind the counter. Not saying that, I love all my people. Let me make that clear. I got friends of many walks of life, races, creeds, colors, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, no matter who you are, what you are, there's every culture that's proud of who they are. Like, I love going to different festivals and learning about people's heritages and all that good stuff. And so just like, as far as Black people, we had that, or more specifically, even in SAC, we used to have Black Expo. My mom and a few of my other family members used to be over that. I'm not sure what happened, but it started to dwindle. I remember so many people would show up for that. It was all types of African heritages, dynamics from actually Nigerian, Jamaican, blah, 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 blah. Anything of African and Black descent was there. It was just such a beautiful, big melting pot to see everything different and a lot of other cultures enjoying our different cultures. And so I thought that was pretty dope. And I think we need to kind of circle back around to that, or just at least internally or in your life, just try to learn your history. And like, with that being said, I know people are doing like ancestry.com or something like that. I think if I could suggest one for more so Black people, I think it was called African American genealogy or African, something like that. But anyway, Google it, not sure. I'll probably add it in the bio once I figure it out for sure. So don't quote me. But anyway, back to music and pop culture. I feel like also the future is kind of female. Not only it's been like a real good year for female rappers in the game, big industry wise. Hell, even a lot of fellas are giving kudos and flowers to the ladies that are like making headway. I really wish, even though I'm so proud of that, that's what's up, but there's only so many songs I can hear about a bitch keep talking about her pussy and getting money and blah, 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 blah. That's why I like rappers like Lady London or the Conscious Sister, my favorite, Miss Nilam. These are ladies that I found on Instagram, even like they leaning more toward like even Drizzy. Like I wish I'd come from like the Lauryn Hill era, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even blaming ladies for being provocative and all that, because we deserve that. It's cool to be sexy. It's cool to be a woman. It's cool to be confident. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely levels to the shit. And I'm not even blaming this generation while all the parents are mad at like the Cardi B's and Megan Thee Stallions. I'm sorry, did y'all forget about Adina Howard? Uncle Luke? 69 Boys? I could go on, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We just going in emotion. There ain't nothing new under the sun. Or what my uncle used to say, the game don't change, just the players do. I was like, damn, that's some profound shit. But it's real. But once again, SAC is definitely on the rise. Not only the city is making a lot of different changes, we are bringing a lot more events and stuff, like myself, the fashion show. I got a few other things up my sleeve. I'm not sure who's over it, but I just heard wind of not SAC Music Awards, but I think they turned it to SAC Trending Awards, which I think is pretty dope. I was thinking about doing something similar, but I'm actually excited just to be participating. And so, I recently entered in, for Podcast of the Year, you guys. So hopefully, we get a little nomination or something. But other than that, I'm actually very thankful for those who stuck with me this long, the people I'll be running into wondering like, when's the next episode coming out? You are the ones that keep me going, I swear, and I'm so humble and appreciative. But I don't know, you guys. I'm just happy to be here. Once again, I started this because I'm not no rapper, I'm not no singer. This is where I make my stamp. This is where I create my, what's the word? Magic. Definitely excited for the things that it's like I want to talk about it, but at the same time I want y'all to wait and see. And then plus I don't like to jinx things. But anyhow, yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna add the SAC music list to probably the bio below. I'm also going to give a link to the SAC Trending Awards, even though I think voting is closed, but I still want people to fully support and pay attention because I always support all locals and natives that are trying to do something on a major scale in a big way, especially when it involves everybody in the city. And so I like that. And so shout out to whoever's behind that. But last but not least, life and lessons, ladies and gentlemen. For me, this year was about love, losses, and a lot of lessons. Me personally, I'm already an optimist. And so there's not too many things that I can't wrap my head around. I like to say, or if you were around me enough, you know that my mottos are, my mind is stronger than my emotions. Of course I feel, of course I hurt, but my mind, or like for everybody, your mind is there to decipher why you feel the things you feel or what to do about these certain feelings. But sometimes people's feelings overwhelm them so much that they're not able to think. That's why people, for example, when people get angry, they say things that, oh, I didn't mean that. But in that instance, you did. Somewhere deep down inside of you did. And so just like kind of retreat into yourself, kind of learn how to have a little more self-discipline. Once again, these are things that I'm learning for myself and that I could preach to you if I could give any advice. Definitely, it's also been a year of self-actualization, meaning knowing your flaws, knowing your faults and stuff, not even like being down about it or, you know, picking yourself apart, just being aware and then not trying to take the steps to be better. Once again, as I'm preaching, I'm testifying for myself. Once you know Kooky, if you know Kooky, I don't ever talk about anything that I haven't seen, heard, or done myself. I think it's just very humbling year. I was just kind of like not stagnant because I definitely accomplished a lot this year. But for me, I had to take my emotion. I just felt like I was going through emotions a lot this year. I kind of feel like everybody's been on the same page, just kind of going through the motions, trying to survive, trying to figure it out, especially as the world is kind of, you know, getting back into gear as we're coming out of quarantine, as we're getting back into work and all that good stuff. You know, we're just trying to knock the rust off. And if I could give any advice, it's definitely to keep going. Laying down and dying isn't going to do anybody no good. Hell, you could literally die. What's the world going to keep doing? It's going to keep going. Yeah, you can learn that the hard way, but if not, you already know. I'm sure I'm not the only one who lost some people this year, and not even just by, you know, passing, you know, connections, business, relationships. Things change, people change, and it's like, it's okay to accept those things, you know? Some things are just out of your control, or sometimes even though you think that's for you, there's something better in store, or things fall apart for better things to come together. Trust me. What else? I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be pretty quick, you guys. I definitely miss you guys. I appreciate you guys for rocking with your girl for so long, even though it hasn't been super long. We are approaching 3 years here, people. Obviously, episodes spaced out in between, but you know, hey, I got a life. I work day jobs, okay? But I thank you guys a lot. It's very humbling to know that, hell, y'all give a damn. I really started this for me, kind of like a diary almost, but people actually, you know, feel me. They understand. And y'all love and support and playing, and that makes me keep on going. Y'all my reason. But I think I'm good here. I appreciate you guys. Stay on the lookout for everything that we got to come. So many new guests, so many new segments. Like, I even think I want to add a little cooking segment because we're currently in a bigger space right now, and there's a lot more possibility. So stay tuned. But other than that, love you guys. Thank you for connecting with your girl Kooky. And we out.